Hey up guys, S-Man back at it again with a Horizons review. Now, this is gonna be the final review of the Terrestrial debut arc. I gotta say, it's been one hell of a ride. But make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment, and continue just to watch my videos because we're getting started with Horizons. Every time an arc ends, it just makes it feel like more like, alright, this is just a stepping off point. It's time to just go forward into the horizon. Make sure you guys just stick around because we're about to hit the Rayquaza Rising arc and potentially be getting a Teal Mask sub arc. But yeah, let's get right into this review. Okay, how am I going to start this? A lot happened this episode. It was a lot of really great moments that came together and basically gave... I don't know how to describe it, but from this episode, I felt the spirit of Paldea. That's really what I gotta do. Because in this episode alone, we saw more Paldea characters than we saw of Galarian characters in the entirety of Journey. And I think that's kind of sad. Let's just start with how the episode starts off. Basically, we start off with immediately getting Dot's fight out of the way. She's fighting the Roy clone and terrestrializes Quaxwell and basically takes out his Darumaka pretty quickly. That's alright. I mean, it's obviously not what the main battle is supposed to be. But I really like to have at least that Dot battle wasn't skipped over. I'm happy we saw her win in a reasonable way, and it was just nice seeing her terrestrialize again and just win a battle. And I also really like the interaction Fake Roy had with her, saying how much fun he had with the battle and that she did a good job. She gets all nervous and then like sees Penny in the crowd. And I just thought that was funny that she looked towards one of her new closest friends for basically after this interaction. But yeah, we then get a scene of Nemona. I hope we continue to see Nemona. I swear if this is the last we see of her, I'm gonna be so sad. But yeah, we see my goat Nemona cheer on Liko and Roy and get them hyped up for their battle. And it's nice to see. It's nice that Nemona was given this role because she's Miss Battle and she's also Liko and Roy's probably like, out of like the people they've met in Paldea, Nemona has probably grown to be the group's closest friend. Besides maybe with Dot and Iona, but they were friends even before the series, so it makes sense that Nemona is not going to be able to reach that level of closeness compared to how she reached this level of closeness with Liko and Roy. But yeah, that's when we get Rhyme giving off a nice little rap with Dendra, preparing the group for their battle. To basically announce Liko and Roy's battle. Now, this is where we start to get all the character appearances. We get the two closest characters with Roy during this arc being Rhyme and Nemona, hyping up Roy, while Anne and Katie hype up Liko. Would have been cool to see this role given to Grusha instead, but I like that it fits kind of because Nemona is like Roy's close friend / rival, while Anne is also Liko's closest friend / rival. So yeah, it makes sense that they did this parallel. And Rhyme also was Roy's closest gym leader, while Katie was Liko's closest because she never really got to Grusha's heart. So yeah, that's when we just get a lot of cameos. We see Hassel and Brassius hanging out to cheer on Roy. We see Poppy, Rika, Grusha all sitting together, and I think Larry and Clavel are also revealed to be with that group like later in the episode. It's nice to see all the Elite Four and Clavel all just chilling. Then we also see something crazy. We get Nemona and Penny hanging out, and then they call over Arvin, who just walks over. So did the events of Scarlet and Violet happen? Because especially with this, there was an episode in this arc, I think, where they asked if they can go to areas, or no, hold on, yeah. It was the episode where Clavel was talking to the kids about Terrapago's connection to Area Zero, but then says, "Oh, you guys sadly can't go there due to a recent incident." So did the recent incident include Nimona, Penny, and Arvin going down there to deal with the Professor Turo and the time machine situation? So I'm curious what they meant by that, because I also assumed when that happened they meant, oh, the event with the evil legendary and all that. So yeah, that was definitely an interesting thing. So basically, yeah, we get to see a lot of Paldean characters. Basically, every major gym leader, aside from 3, are here. And the 3 being the 2 nobody fought, and Iono, who's explained why she isn't here later, and it makes a lot more sense because she was like at her thing, just like streaming, and then she calls Dot later. But I'll get to that later because that was also a really good scene. But like the whole time I'm like, yo, where's Iono? Where's my goat Iono? And then they explain it. So yeah, I really like that. But yeah, the battle between Liko and Roy begins. I gotta say, the start of this battle was really good. Like, we get Fuecoco immediately charging in, and then Liko using the yo-yo to maneuver. She basically catches Fuecoco, stops him in his tracks, and like starts to flail him around. But Roy uses the opportunity to use another flame charge to basically throw Florigato off, which it starts to do, but then Liko has Florigato just throw Fuecoco in the air, and it lands. That scene was really good. And we also get like, there's also a really constant thing in this battle where Fuecoco charges in with flame charge while Liko uses quick attack, and quick attack always pushes Fuecoco back, which is a common theme doing to Florigato being an evolution. Even though Fuecoco's flame charge would be super effective, Florigato's always like overpowering its strength blocks. But yeah. Then we get Roy sending out Kilowattrel, my goat, my king. Oh, I also forgot to mention Anne is holding Terrapagos. I forgot who. Someone on Twitter was like freaking out, saying, "No, Liko, don't give that traitor Terrapagos." I used to be all for the Anne traitor theory, but like at this point, I don't think it makes any sense. And just keep Anne the way she is. Like, I really like Anne. But yeah. I'm getting right back to what I was talking about. Kilowattrel versus Florigato was also a really good battle. And I really like the callback to Liko's attempts to take out Florigato being the same way she basically like overpowered Volteria in the fight against Grusha. But I like how Roy immediately realizes what she's doing. So instead of just like letting her pull Kilowattrel down to the ground so she can get like an acrobatics hit, he just flies off, which causes Florigato to have to let go of the yo-yo. So instead, Liko is forced to use a magical leaf, which Kilowattrel was able to avoid. And it's also interesting here because it's revealed here that Florigato still uses Scratch, and that's the move Liko decides to use against Kilowattrel, while it is literally charging a Spark at. So yeah, Florigato gets knocked down because why does she think a Scratch is going to beat a Spark? I don't know. But yeah, Florigato gets knocked down and is paralyzed, so Liko realizes she needs to recall it and uses my goat Haturum. Now, a lot of characters are my goat, but it's because I love this series so much that I feel comfortable calling every Pokemon, every character my goat. But yeah, I definitely should do a stream like ranking all like the characters in the Pokemon. But yeah, we get a really smart strategy here from Liko because Roy just decided, hey, I'm gonna charge in with Spark, and this is a really good idea. But Liko has Haturum catch a Kilowattrel with Psychic and slam it to the ground. That's when Roy realizes that Spark isn't going to be the way to go. So he uses Echoed Voice to basically disorient Haturum so he can charge in with a Spark. Spark paralyzing Haturum and basically allowing Roy to take out Haturum with another Spark. Sad to see Haturum basically go down so quickly, but I can ignore it. At first I was actually so mad when I was watching this episode a couple minutes ago. I was so mad. I'm like, oh, how could they do this to Haturum? Haturum's already down. But the rest of the battle going down the way it does I feel like it's a good way to forgive it. Haturum like wasn't supposed to be the main part of the battle. Neither was Kilowasho, but you needed to make this battle a 2v2 for it to even like work the way it did. But yeah, I respect that. I'm also confused what Haturum did. Was she trying to get Liko to use the Terastallization Orb or tell her to save it? I don't know. All I know is Haturum did something and the Terra Orb rose. It was weird. Like, I genuinely don't know what she was supposed to do. And I didn't watch this with subs because it's a battle and I tend to not really watch battles with subs. Before I review it at least, especially if I have time. Like today, I actually had time to like watch the episode and review it, and I'm not behind on reviews anymore, guys. I'm proud of myself. That means more time could actually go to the what if that is coming out soon. I promise you, it is literally half done. It has been half done for like 2 weeks now. I've been working on this in the background for a while. Like I had this recorded since like January, but the problem was I didn't have time to edit because a lot was happening in school. Then when I started editing, boom, a lot happened again. But yeah, well, let's not talk about that. This is a review of Horizons. With Haturum down, Liko is forced to send back out Fuecoco. And this is, I'm going to be honest, this scene's kind of weird. We see Fuecoco use the yo-yo, but Liko like calls it off a bit. So it becomes like kind of like a whip. And it like whips Kilowasho and Liko just pushes in with a scratch. I really don't know what this was supposed to be. Like, I get what Fuecoco wanted to do, but then Liko was like hesitant, and it just ended up whipping Kilowasho to death, basically. So yeah, I don't know. Kilowasho needed to go down, but I don't know. I genuinely was so confused of what just happened when I watched it. And I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah. Alright. This part was really good. This is probably like one of the best scenes in the entirety of Horizons. It's time for Liko and Fuecoco versus Roy and Fuecoco. This is the match. And I love how we start off the battle, basically, we get like little clashes. Like for example, we get Fuecoco waving the yo-yo around Fuecoco, but it uses Flamethrower to basically burn it off. And then we get Roy and Liko talking about all the battles they had in the past. We get a lot of flashbacks to like the training with Captain Pikachu, the battle they had at the end of that episode, their battle with Cap. We even see even more battles, like for example, their tag team against the Explorers near the end of the Terrapagos arc. We also see them fighting Spinel, each of their battles with the gym leaders. But yeah, this scene was really good. And it's like built, and it leads to like, this happens while the two are charging an attack, a quick attack versus a flame charge combination, where we get to see Fuecoco and Fuecoco go head on, while Liko and Roy are both passionate about the battle, and have been like basically like they're flashing back all the memories we have together. All of our friendship is basically going into this battle, and like we want to make it the best we can for each other. And they're both sweating. Like in this scene, it was really like this scene was really good. Like these two like best friends want to make sure they both want to win, but also make the other feel like it was a good battle and like be worthy to stand alongside the other and be basically their friend and have this like incredible fight. That's when we get this really good scene. We knew Fuecoco was gonna evolve, but I really like the way it was done. My original, like, my dream of how Fuecoco evolves was either A, in the battle against Rhyme, or B, an Explorer's battle or a battle with Rayquaza. But I really like the way that this was done. We see Fuecoco start to like be charged up. I think this is meant to like represent like his blaze or instead of the evolution. I'm pretty sure that's what it was meant to represent. I can't speak fully. It's either or. So like Fuecoco, like you'll see it in the pictures I put. His head starts to like glow. So I generally thought it was blaze at first, but also I feel like it could be interpreted as evolution because Fuecoco does like immediately evolve. But yeah, seeing Fuecoco getting fired up, Roy starts singing the new Fuecoco song, the Hey, Hey, Hey song, and Rhyme steps in, gets the whole crowd cheering on. Everyone is singing the Hey, Hey, Hey song. Gotta love it. Rhyme is like Roy's #1 hype man. Like Rhyme literally got everyone singing it. Even Liko is vibing with it and like clapping along. And this is like having her and Fuecoco basically. They're basically syncing up. Her and Fuecoco are syncing up the same way Roy and Fuecoco are singing up right now. But here's the problem, Liko. This is Roy's song. So Fuecoco jumps up, evolves in the Crocolar, and the two are ready to unleash their final attacks. They both look at each other and agree this is time to terrestrialize, and we get, oh my god, like I can't like express how good this is with screenshots like during the visuals, and I don't know how I'm gonna do a thumbnail for this, but we get like the best terrestrial throw I feel like we've had this entire series from both Liko and Roy. Like that throw was really good for each of them. Like, and the animation that goes along with it. But yeah, they're both terrestrializes, unleashes their signature attacks. They clash. Liko's overpowers Roy's, but Roy doesn't give up. Roy goes in with a flame charge, while Liko goes in with a final quick attack. But Roy and Liko are now equals, so Roy takes out Liko. Now, I wanted Liko to win the battle at first, but I can understand and accept that she didn't. The only reason I wanted Liko to win is because I hate the idea when it's like two main characters fighting, but like, oh, their Pokemon evolves. I don't like that trope where it's like, oh, my Pokemon has to evolve to win. So that's why but I do really like the trope when it's like, oh, we're fighting a rival. My Pokemon evolves, but we still lose, but it's still a win because my Pokemon evolve. I like that trope way better. But I actually accept that Roy wins because like realistically he had the type advantage, and his Crocolar has been like Fuecoco is probably one of the strongest Pokemon as a Fuecoco. So imagine now like the boost of power it has as a Crocolar. I can see why it beat Fuecoco. Even though Liko I feel like is the better battler, I feel like Roy is definitely stronger power wise. Roy is like ecstatic that he won and goes to hug Crocolar but drops him because how heavy he is. While Liko, I'm so like this. I was like, is Liko about to cry? But Liko just looks at Fuecoco and smiles because of how good she did. And then her and Roy shake hands, and they're so happy, and they're happy about the battle, and everyone cheers because that's probably the best battle you're gonna see at the school. Now, this is probably the best battle of Horizons. Yeah, some things could have been a little better, like the Haturum part, but realistically, I would have rather Kilowattrel getting a win over Haturum, so I can accept that, and I do like that technically Fuecoco. It makes sense that Fuecoco goes down to the Crocolar because she had also like been the one to do most of the damage to Kilowattrel and also be the one to take it down. It just shows if Haturum was a better Pokemon, maybe Liko would have had a chance. But yeah, that battle, the best in the series. It basically summed up the entirety of what Liko and Roy's arcs have been so far and the friendship they have, all in one battle. And I don't see them battling again until maybe the end of the series, where that battle is going to be incredible. We had one battle near the beginning of the series, Liko versus Roy. This is the mid-series battle between Liko and Roy, and maybe we get one more because we don't know what's going to happen with the newest games at this point, and we don't even know if Liko and Roy are going to continue in the Gen 10, but we also don't know when Gen 10 is coming out. For all we know, this series will last like 2 more years, and we're on episode like 60, so yeah. Or about to be episode 70, so yeah. Then we get probably I really like this scene more than I think I would have. I really like this scene because it's just like it's basically saying goodbye to all these like characters we've grown attached to during the Paldea arc. But I hope we do see them again. Like just like these scenes were so good. Like Liko and Anne having like another goodbye. Like I feel like we're obviously gonna see Anne again, but yeah. Like Liko and Anne's goodbye was also really good. Nemona and Roy's goodbye was so good, and Rhyme was also included in that, along with Grassy's and Hassel. Just like basically all of Roy's like character, like the characters related to Roy, like Nemona, Brassius, Hassel, Rhyme. They all get like a really good goodbye scene with Roy. But it's mainly Nemona's scene because it's Nemona's basically Roy has basically become Nemona's rival, the main character of the game, where Nemona wants to help train up a trainer to be like on her equal, and this is one step of her friend basically becoming equal to her. Like now he has terrestrialization. But yeah, I love how like Hassel like loved the battle, and so did Brassius. They both thought it was like a beautiful like expression of art. But yeah, then we get a fun little scene of Dot. Dot really doesn't have anyone to talk to. She sees Larry. Larry like smiles at her, gives her a nod, and she nods back. That's when Iono calls her, congratulating her on her battles and everything that happened. And yeah, Poppy runs up to basically cheer on Quaxley evolving, and it's nice to see Poppy and Dot interact again, because that was really like lacking. Like I really liked what Poppy was saying to Dot after their battle, but it really lacked once like, because like you had the force like the Roy battle in that episode as well, so like you didn't get to see much of these interactions. So yeah, but I do like seeing it here. We also get a really hilarious scene where Dot like straight up just says, "Oh yeah, goodbye, Iono." Like when Iono's like, "Hey, I'm still talking to you." But yeah, then we get a really nice scene of Rika and Liko saying goodbye. Rika, Grusha, and Liko all like getting their goodbyes. I don't really know why Grusha was here. I get it because like Grusha and like Rika are attached to hip, and Rika and like Liko built this bond. But yeah, they say their goodbyes, but they also both encourage Liko, that saying they would love to see her compete in the league and eventually even maybe become a champion. With that'll be an interesting path to see. Like I don't see like you getting an arc where it's like, oh, Liko, Roy, and Dot will become the champions. But I see like maybe like in the future, if they want to end the series on like a little, like they want to do like a montage of what the characters are doing after the series, because I see the series ending one of two ways. Like the first being like, oh, they all just like fly off and continue to be Rising Bull tacklers. But I also see like some of them retiring, some new members joining. Maybe like my dream would be like Liko becomes the captain, but I don't see that happening at all. But yeah, so maybe like that's how like Liko's character ends. Like we see like a montage of her fighting every gym leader and eventually becoming a champion level trainer. And hey, maybe she returns. Maybe we get a season of her and Ash training a new character. But yeah, we also get a really funny scene where Penny like sneaks up behind Dot and calls her Needle thing. And like Dot's surprised, like, oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Blah 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 blah. And I wish we got to see more of Dot and Penny, because this is the kind of bond they deserve. Like their interactions were so good. Their characters were like two sides of the same coin, and I loved it. Like Dot and Penny were so like uncommon. I'm happy they paired them together, but it wasn't enough. I don't know how you would have done it, but I kind of wish we got some sort of team star where it's like Penny and Dot teaming up. That would have been nice to see. But yeah, the final goodbye here is Grusha and Katie, where Grusha like approves of Liko. Like Grusha straight up says, "Good job, Liko. Even though you didn't win, I still respect that. You did your best." So yeah, that was also really nice to see. Now, saying goodbye to all their friends, our trio looks to each other, heads off into the horizons on their next journey. Beautiful, beautiful. This art, beautiful. I can't wait to see what's next for Horizons, and we do get some hints of what's coming next, because that's not how the episode ends. That would have been a beautiful ending, but no, we gotta end it here. We do get a really nice scene between two of the explorers. We get Onyx and Coral sitting there eating rice balls and sandwiches, reflecting over their time in the academy. That scene was so funny. The fact that they're eating like rice balls and sandwiches. Come on, like that's hilarious. And then we get a scene of basically Spinel and Agate looking over all the data, saying, "Oh, this is gonna be interesting." Blah 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 blah. And they're talking about what Hambur's reaction to basically everything has been. Overall, I'm gonna end it off here. Like I basically said my word about everything I loved about this episode. The characters, the battle, the story, just the relationship between Liko and Roy, all well done and expressed in this episode. This episode is basically what Horizons is. I feel like every arc finale has like this really like good like send off to alright, that's what Horizons is. The first one be ending off with that fight at the castle, with them all hopping on the thing and flying off. That's like the best, one of the best like episodes to watch. Besides this one, this is the best finale. That episode was way better to watch with a less satisfying ending, while the Rayquaza or the Terrapagos arc had like a battle like against Rayquaza, but a really good ending with Freed telling the kids keep going off into the horizons and follow your dreams. And then, but this episode I feel like has just been the best like finale level episode of any arc. And that's why I'm giving it a 10 out of 10, baby. Oh, this has definitely become a top 5 episode of Horizons. And I don't see it being topped anytime soon. Unless next week's episode is like this incredible battle thing, but like from what we see, it's a freeway battle between Liko, Roy, and the Explorer and the ancient Pokemon. So yeah, like I said, 10 out of 10. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as well. This is probably my longest video that isn't like a stream or like just a discussion. Like this is just like my longest like solo video. And I gotta say, this episode definitely deserved it. Loved it, everything about it. I want you guys to leave your thoughts on the episode. Like what do you guys think about it? Like, did you hate it, love it, in between? But yeah, that's really all I gotta say. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Our journey with these characters is only just beginning, and it's funny that we're still saying that like 60 episodes in. Like, yeah, so yeah. S-Man signing off.